It's the first time talking to you guys since the illness. I mean, just how's everything feeling? What was kind of the experience like for you?
I'm still getting through it a little bit. I think there's a lot of stuff going around. I was just one of the first guys to catch it, so still kind of getting my wind back. It was good to be out there the other night, though.
What was kind of the biggest hurdle to overcome? Was it a lot getting back out on the court and getting back into game shape, I guess?
Not really. It was just getting healthy. Kind of just being on the road, it's tough. You're just kind of caught in your hotel room a little bit. But mine was all just upper chest, coughing, respiratory. But again, I've heard a lot from a lot of different people. There's a lot of stuff going around right now. I'm kind of in some ways glad I got through it already.
Yeah, was your production the other night, was it kind of better than expected at that, considering all that?
I'm not sure. I don't think I'd look into it too much. I was worried about my wind going into it, making sure that fatigue wasn't something that set in too early. So I was a little bit surprised at how good I did feel, and I think hopefully I'll feel better tonight.
After that second half of that Miami game, it feels like that offense is like any more than the Miami game. But just what do you feel like the momentum's kind of building for you guys right now?
Yeah, I mean, the more games we get playing with each other, I think the better. I think there's been a greater sense of urgency starting in the second half of that Miami game that we've talked about the last couple of days. That as best we can, we have to try to sustain for a full 48 minutes, and it's hard to do over a full 82 game season. But the more minutes we get playing with each other, I think we'll hopefully continue to get better.
You saw the Clippers in the preseason. Just what's different about that team with Paul George out there?
Honestly, their identity, they're playing super hard. They defensively, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league, and are really disruptive. They don't really have anybody on the team that they try to hide or that you can really kind of go out and pick on. And so they present a lot of challenges defensively that we're going to have to be, on our stuff here offensively tonight and match their intensity. And again, they're a team that's been playing super hard.
What do you think about that sense of urgency from that Miami game? It seemed like it kind of worked that way in the fourth quarter in this past game where, almost like a switch was flipped for you guys. What is it sometimes where you all of a sudden can just turn it on like that, especially on the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, it starts on the defensive end for sure. I think a lot of times when we see that intensity pick up, it comes with ball pressure on the ball. And Fox did a great job in both that Miami game and in the last game, the fourth quarter, picking up and being a menace on the ball, and Domas getting to steal at half court, getting down on a dunk, getting us going. The rest of us guards kind of being in passing lanes and just picking up our intensity. But I think it starts with our ball pressure and Domas making that first catch tough.
How just overall, you guys feeling pretty good coming off of the last win, especially when you guys were able to kind of turn things up defensively in that fourth quarter?
Thank you, guys.
Oh, you said, how are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, coming off of that fourth quarter especially.
I think we're feeling good. I think we know what type of disruption we can cause from the defensive end. And I think you just try to carry that throughout the length of the whole game. Obviously, it is a little more tiring because you have to have more energy to do that. So, but just trying to do that throughout the game so we kind of get away early.
What is it about you guys sometimes when it almost seems like a switch is flipped for y'all to be able to just turn it on like that on the defensive end?
I think sometimes you just realize you're not playing your best basketball, or if you're playing from behind, it's like kind of got to get every win you can. So just try to turn it up a notch. When you're feeling that. So I think everyone kind of feels it at that time. So someone will just come in, like, hey, we know we can play better than this, and try to get the tempo going as a collective.
How do you approach the fourth quarter? It's like Wednesday, when you close in unit, game before Malik closed. Just how do you approach that fourth quarter?
I think depending on the situation, what it is. If you're playing from behind, you have to turn it up. If it's a close game, kind of got to just stick with it, make the simple plays, and not try to make any home run plays. So I think it just depends on what type of situation you're walking into. But obviously sometimes we do turn it on in the fourth. So it kind of just depends on where we're at in the game.
The Clippers, I know it's just a little bit of a different team. I know you saw them in the preseason. Just what do they present without Paul George there, and just James Harden really taking that main role?
I think they're still a high-level team. You have a guy like James Harden who brings a lot of attention to our defense. So kind of have to be under his. He's a great passer. Obviously he's going to score the ball. So on the ball, your antennas are high, but he's also able to spread the ball, find his teammates, and so kind of got to limit him, not let him get going, not let him get some easy ones, so that way we can kind of get off to a great start, set the tone for the night.
Norm Powell's kind of been a big guy who stepped up in the absence of Paul George since they've made the changes.
Mm-hmm.
And just what have you seen from him and just the collective group trying to fill in for Paul George?
I mean, he's a great player. I think when you have a guy like Kawhi out, someone has to step up, and I mean, obviously he can do that. So we know what type of threat he is and what he brings to them, especially on the offensive end. So just have to have a high alert on him wherever he's out on the floor, because we know he's a guy who's capable of getting it going, and if he gets it going, it can be a long night for you. So just try to limit him and his effectiveness of the game.
I was trying to go back and find moments of you against Harden and just how obviously there's a lot of deception. Is that a hard guard for to keep from reaching for all the stuff he likes to do to get to the line?
I can't really say I've ever played against Harden. Not that I can remember. But I mean, a guy like him for sure. He has all the moves, the moves to get you to bite on something to draw a foul. So his craftiness definitely keeps you on your toes. So it'll be nice to go out there and kind of guard him a little bit tonight to see what that matchup's like. But yeah, you definitely have to play it safe a little bit, because with how elite he is, he's also elite at drawing fouls as well too. So he kind of puts you in a tough situation.
Yeah, and I know it's super early. I mean, no one should really be looking at the standings, but if you looked at just maybe how the West is kind of taking shape in these first 10 or so games.
I have not. I don't really look at that. And then it's kind of early too, so you could go from a top seed to a bottom seed this early on with one loss. So I think more games have to be played to really determine where you're truly at. So but that's not even something that I really keep track of too much. I mean, they'll tell us anyway. So yeah, I don't really get up about that one.
Appreciate it.